Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI. And under this discussion, I want to take a look at, yes, the demolition of houses linked to kidnappers, the impact and the war against kidnapping. Generally speaking, security challenges. You go to our hinterland, you get to hear about some dangerous killer headsmen rampaging, destroying, sacking communities. And in Asa, yes, Central, and of course, the other part of Asa land, Ekbomai Igwebe, get to hear a case or through a thing or two about kidnapping. People have been talking about this really. If you go to Era also, the lost top man, talking about one of the head of vigilantes, they said he was ambushed by killer headsmen. All this put together, some are saying it's enough to really make the government a good day to be worried about security challenges in their Edo state. It got so bad that a member of the House of Representatives from the Eastern region, right, even had to make an appeal to the House or the federal government to send soldiers at least have military checkpoints in that particular region. Putting all this together, do you think that the situation right now in Edo State in terms of what the governor did about a court war and what he's doing about kidnapping, what about those dastardly, evil headsmen ravaging our hinterlands, ravaging our rural community? All these and more will form cause of our discussion. Okay, so joining us virtually all the way from Onwa, yes, Honorable Fred has been crying about the KKRA. I'm going to ask him questions about that. And of course, he was also affected because one of their chief security officer, yes, was ambushed, and of course he was killed. Though the Commissioner of Police have been to that area to commiserate with them, they swung into action to see how they can really salvage the community. Honorable Fred, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Nigerians. I am doing well, thank God. Thank you for having me.
All right. Now let's come straight down to the studio. He's a political juggernaut, an entrepreneur, and of course a businessman, one-time chairman of a political party. Yes, the Conscious Party, right? Are they still in existence?
We are in court.
We're in court. I'll leave it at that. Honorable Victor Ogba, it's a pleasure to have you join us in the studio. It's been a while.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be with you today.
I sit very close to him. He is a member of the APC. Yes, people are saying that he has paid his dues in the party. You can call him a chieftain, one of the chieftains in the APC, political analyst, political affairs commentator, very vibrant. You join me to welcome Esosa Mogbe. Thank you so much for joining me in the studio.
Thank you, Wixon, for having me, and thank you, viewers everywhere, for allowing us into your space.
All right. I want to start off with Honorable Fred, the situation in the hinterlands. There's been an advocate of the KKRA. Hope help have gotten to you people. Aside that, what do you feel about the stand of the governor demolishing houses connected to the kidnappers? Let's tee off from there. Take it up from there, Honorable Fred.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nigeria. Thank you so much, ITV, for having me. I want to go straight to this point that you have raised. First, let me talk a little bit about the disaster, the flood disaster that happened in the AKK era. I can assure you that the governor is a listening governor. He has actually, a long time ago, approved for emergency relief for the community. But I can assure you that for the governor to succeed, I think some civil servants have to deliberately, be disciplined or redeployed. I can assure you that it is not in the hands of the governor to release funds that should be used for the procurement of relief materials. I can assure you right now that from the investigation I have carried out, not only on AKK era, that other community that you see that the emergency is needed, the Accountant General of the state is playing with what is called emergency. Emergency is supposed to be a next day, but right now, what we are saying is that the civil servant, they want to frustrate, the government effort towards, reaching out to its people. So I'm telling the governor right now that, look, some people are trying to frustrate your effort to prevent you from achieving the agenda which you have, promised the people. So such people, they should be redeployed or replaced, because this no more emergency. For example, today is day 54 since FKK incident happened, and people will be saying, where is the governor? But the governor is there, he has done his part, but the civil servants are frustrating his effort. That is about that. Then let me come to the issue of demolition as a strict measure to combat the menace of kidnappers and their allies, their informants, and those who have associated with them. I think it's the right thing in the right direction. Recall that the Edo State enacts a Prohibition Amendment Law 2005, which was signed by His Excellency. I think this law is the right way to go. Let me tell you something. These people who disguise as herdsmen, it is not just about rearing cattle. No, there is what they are doing within rearing of their cattle. For example, in Era Rainforest Zone, which of course has been known in Nigeria as a den of kidnapping and ransom taking. And when you see them, you would think that they are actually rearing cattle. Apart from the physical destruction of our crops and the people they are killing that are not even heard of, because the one we know that we will talk about. These people have to be driven away from Edo State. And for their informants, I thank God that the governor is living up to expectation in actually trying to get rid of them and all their allies. My message to these people is that don't think that you can deceive the government. No, government is an institution that you cannot deceive. All of you who are involved in this heinous crime, you're reporting and giving information to these wicked and evil people. The government is on your tail. As I speak to you, you have two options. One is to repent and come and confess. Two is to ensure or to be expectant that the law will catch up with you. In Era, for example, the persons who are responsible for this thing, they are beginning to receive their benefit, and their benefit is that their houses have been demolished. I mean, one house has been demolished, more will still be demolished. The government is investigating the matter, and I thank God for the CP, the new CP. Thank God that she's also a son of the soil who wouldn't want to fail on her duty to help the governor achieve the security agenda, which is top almost on all the, because without security, there is no development. Who will invest, for example, in a place where they know when they bring their people to come and start work that they will be kidnapped? It's not possible.
I will come back to you. I will come back to you. Fred, calm down. I will definitely come back to you. But I like your opening because it's in the hinterlands. He's feeling the heat directly. They lost a member of Vigilante. They are here there in Era. He said he was ambushed, and thank God for the CP. She's been there to assess situation. Now let me come to Esosa. What do you feel about this trend? Demolition of houses has connection with kidnappers.
Security and the welfare of the people is the major responsibility of any government. And the administration of Governor Monday Okpebholo has prioritized the security of the people of Edo State. So by reason of that, he has taken adequate measures. Maybe not adequate enough, but he has taken some steps to ensure that Edo people are living in safety. The first thing he tackled when he came into power was the issue of the incessant gang clashes that were reoccurrent in Edo State. The young men were turning their guns on themselves. And virtually every other month, you hear of so numbers of deaths as a resultant of those clashes. When the governor came in, he sponsored an executive bill putting some stringent measures, tougher measures, you know, to curtail that situation. And today you no longer hear of the killing of young men. Now, on the issue of kidnapping and marauding killer S-men, unfortunately, that is of a different dimension. It is both localized. Localized in the sense that there are some, for the kidnappers, there are some indigenous people involved. And then for the killer S-men, I think that is of international level. Simply because that group has been designated at a time as the first most deadlier terror group in the world, not just in Nigeria. And they have some of their elements in the Sahel region.
Yeah, please continue. Yeah.
They have some of their foothold within the Sahel region, not just within the Nigerian state alone. And to curtail that, you will need international backing. Not only that, if you recall, recently, a U.S. legislator from the United States of America, was saying that USAID, you know, funds from that body find its way to terrorist group. And of course, the killer herdsmen are affiliated to ISIS. So, in the end, why the demolition of houses by the Monday Okpebholo administration is a very good step. But more needs to be done, especially collaborating with the federal, you know, and then the federal also collaborating with the international community. Anything that can be done to stop the killing of our people, the raping and maiming of our people, anything that can be done to ensure the security of Edo people, I think that should be done. And the demolition of houses is one step in the right direction.
All right, thank you so much. So let me move straight down to Victor Ogba to get his own views and opinion. You heard what Honorable Fred talked about. He said, yes, is the right step in the right direction. Now, he also opined that these killer headsmen, they're also involved in kidnapping. Now, let's look into what Honorable Sosa said. He said, look, these killer headsmen sometimes work in collaboration with indigents. Take it up from there.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Wilson. Security is a very important issue, and it's one of the issues that concerns everybody. Good. The government is taking a right step, and they're doing everything possible within the reach of government to fight this insecurity. But even when we say the responsibility of security lies in the hands of government, the government themselves can only work to the extent that they know. That is where intelligence report becomes very important. And how do you get intelligence report in issues like this? Of course, it must come from the grassroots. That is where the people themselves are very vital part of the fight against insecurity. There is no way you can commit crime in a different world and it begin to manifest in this world. It therefore means that those who are committing the crime belongs here, lives here, and commit the crime here, and live among us. A total stranger cannot go into a community and succeed. Where do you want to pass? There must be collaboration between some bad elements within the community and the strangers who are committing who are on the forefront. So that is where the issue of collaboration comes in. Fantastic. The step by destroying every house that is connected to kidnapping or whatsoever, even if you are a tenant in this house, in that house, or whatever, should be brought down. At that level, everybody will be forced to get involved. How can you say you have a tenant in your house? He leaves the house by 10 p.m. and come home as early as 4:30 through the back door. And you still say that man is a nurse or a doctor that is always on night duty. Of course, there are traces you will see. Even though if you are not seeing completely, you should be able to know that this kurukere waka that this man is going about is strong. So even if you cannot fight it out, all you just need to do is to offer information and say, see, look at this tenant I have. I do not trust his movement. Then those who are responsible in that investigation will follow it up. But by the time you keep quiet and you keep sitting in your house and say, I dey suspect this guy is a bad guy, and things keep happening, in some cases they are even aware. You have a house that is next to you. The house is fenced. You see vehicles driving in every time, driving out. They're buying food to the house. They're driving out. Not you don't know what they are doing. They just come in and go. After a while, you will not see them. Maybe after 2 months, they will appear again, and nobody's allowed to go inside. And you are comfortable that you don't know who your neighbors are. You don't even know what your neighbors are doing. And these neighbors are people who just come after 2 months, they leave. That means they come only when they are bringing their victim. And the area is kept quiet. You are not passing out information. Of course, such kind of things should be given us. There's just move about this house. It's just like the case of Evans. The people within the area say, people just drive out and drive in. They're always playing loud music. We don't know what they are doing. But they will just go, they will just come. So when you begin to see things like this and you don't talk, then you are culpable. So insecurity, fighting insecurity is actually the fight for everybody. That is why we, on our own, when the government of Mondo came in, we knew that, yes, insecurity must be taken seriously. We did a proposal on how to secure the entire Edo, and we sent to him. And part of our proposal is to have about 40 personnel per ward.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that. You just hold on. If you just joined us, this is TMI Sunday's edition. We'll take into account the destruction of houses occupied by kidnappers and, of course, the impact of the war against this particular act in Edo State. How effective is it really? We'll go on a break. We'll be right back.